power of art is...
Art has given me.
Art is one of the basic needs of all humans.
It is invaluable.
It helps you to think differently.
It makes you feel good.
It's a refreshing feeling.
It's a way for me to discover myself.
Art is power.
It enriches your life.
It takes you outside of yourself.
Art is power. It is something very, very special and intrinsic in art that when people view art, it inspires them.
It touches things inside of us that in some cases we might try to avoid, and it puts it in a context in which we can see it and accept it and make it a part of our own lives.
Every individual, to me, has an inner genius of some type. And we spend our lives searching for ways to unleash that inner genius. And for so many people, the arts is what, unleashes their genius.
So this is something that is vital if we're ever going to be able to think outside of ourselves. I think as human beings, that's an obligation.
VSA Arts of Georgia believes that art is for all people, to be created by all people and enjoyed by all people. VSA Arts of Georgia makes this happen by providing access to the arts for people with disabilities and those who are economically disadvantaged. VSA is a statewide organization that encourages everyone to enjoy and participate in the arts.
VSA Arts of Georgia's mission is to ensure that people with disabilities and people of low income have access to the arts. And for 31 years, we've been doing just that, serving over 100,000 Georgians a year. We carry out our mission through a series of 4 major programs and services: community events, which is a ticket distribution program, an artist residency program, which brings artists with and without disabilities into schools and community centers. We have a Stagehands program, which interprets plays for people who are deaf. And finally, we have the gallery. The gallery is a place where we display art exclusively by artists with disabilities or on themes of concern to people with disabilities. And it's the only gallery of its kind in the Southeast, so we're very lucky to have this in the heart of downtown Atlanta.
VSA is, I think, one of the most unique arts organizations, certainly in the state of Georgia, if not in the country, because typically arts organizations find it very difficult to deal and provide for people with handicaps, either because of physical handicaps that make their facilities less accessible, or just the tools that you need to work with people with disabilities to help them understand and translate the arts to them, and to help train them as to how they can participate and become an artist. And VSA serves that role for all the folks with disabilities within the state of Georgia.
VSA was founded in 1974 as Hospital Audiences. Its mission was to display patients' artwork in hospitals throughout Georgia. With its incorporation in 1977, the name changed to Special Audiences, Inc.
The organization has evolved dramatically since its start in 1974. When we began, we were a program service agency with one mission, which was to ensure that people who were in long-term care situations in hospitals had an opportunity to do art-making activities. And since then, we've evolved into becoming a ticket distribution service, into being a theatrical interpreting service for the deaf, and we've also acquired this gallery as of 1998, which has made it possible for us to dramatically increase the profile of established and emerging artists with disabilities throughout the state. VSA Arts of Georgia is part of an international affiliate network that is headquartered in Washington, D.C. in the Kennedy Center, and the international organization is called VSA Arts. It was begun by Jean Kennedy Smith, the sister of the late President Kennedy, who eventually became the ambassador to Ireland under President Clinton. So we report directly to the Kennedy Center. And every year we undergo a very rigorous accreditation process in which the Home Office, as we call it, looks at the programs that we're running, the groups of people that we're serving, the staff that we have and our board, and ensures that we have all the capacity that we need to fulfill our mission.
The arts provide a lens for us to see ourselves and the world. It has the power to transform, it has the power to heal, and it has the power to change our world one person at a time. It is important that everyone has access to the energy that art renders. VSA ensures the inclusion of all who wish to partake the experience.
I think of having art be accessible just like every building should be accessible. Like I should be able to come to your house for dinner and not have to struggle to get upstairs. And yet almost everyone has to struggle that I know of with a disability in almost every location. So certainly art, like anything else, should be accessible.
Art should be accessible to all people simply for the quality of life, if nothing else. Arts education teaches emotional empathy. It's a huge economic boon for our community. It brings in businesses. But like I said, most importantly, it's the quality of life that people experience, that they have an opportunity to connect.
We're given a notion in our society that art is only for people that are wealthy, that are affluent, when in essence it absolutely is not. Art should be accessible in a sense that anyone should be able to afford a piece of original work.
VSA Arts of Georgia provides technical services that create accessible arts and cultural venues and inclusive arts and cultural experiences through its Stagehands and Sightline programs. VSA Arts of Georgia contracts with venues to sign interpret performances for patrons who are deaf. Stagehands services enable theater patrons who are deaf or hearing impaired to experience the verbal action of a play through American Sign Language.
With VSA Arts of Georgia, we utilize some services they offer. One of those is Stagehands, where they help us contract sign interpreters for our sign interpreted and our shadow interpreted performances. They also train the audio describers that we use for our audio described performances for the visually impaired. VSA Arts of Georgia gives us that opportunity to provide these services. Without VSA Arts of Georgia, we would have very few trained audio describers. It would be difficult probably for us to find sign interpreters, and they know the communities that those folks can reach. One of my favorite days in school day performances is the day that our students who are deaf visit us, because you have never had a more appreciative audience walk out of the theater. My favorite example is from Miracle Worker last year, The Miracle Worker, which is the story of Helen Keller. Those students came out, and the girl who was playing Helen Keller came out, and they were signing to each other in the lobby, saying, "Oh my gosh, we really think she's deaf," and you know, but they thought she could see, which is very, very interesting. They're just so appreciative. Same with the Georgia Academy for the Blind, the fact that their kids would not have the opportunity to experience this otherwise.
VSA Arts of Georgia does not limit its services to those with disabilities, but understands that being economically disadvantaged can also prevent one from participating in the arts.
Disability and economic status are so interlinked in the arts and culture when it comes to access that we think the only way that we can be of service to one group is to be of service to both. So by serving both groups of people to ensure that they have access to the arts, we actually are able to create a very powerful argument with arts and cultural venues, as well as provide a service to them.
It puts a face on disability and a face on people with low income. These are people that are generally left out. Most of the venues that we work with are becoming more sensitive to including everyone.
Arts and cultural venues collaborate with VSA Arts of Georgia to provide opportunities for people who have disabilities or who are economically disadvantaged to attend performances or special events through free admission. Donated tickets are made available to nonprofit organizations throughout Georgia.
Most of the venues that we work with really want to serve people with disabilities or low income, but they don't know how to find these people. It's very easy to call us and offer tickets, or to have a standing agreement with us that we have a certain number of tickets certain days of the week that we can offer. And that way they know they're serving the populations that they serve. It's sort of a one-stop shopping. All of the venues and people asking for free tickets know they can come to us for those, and they'll have one person calling to ask for free tickets. They're not having to field 500 calls from 500 different people. It's easy to look at these as just tickets, and what difference does it make anyway? But it makes a tremendous difference. If you take a group of children to a live performance, something they've never seen before, it really does connect with them in a way that watching TV doesn't do. If you take a group of women from a halfway house for substance abuse, it makes them normal, just like everybody else, to go to a theater, to watch a performance, and then go back to the halfway house. They can see that there's something out there that they can attain by doing what they're doing now.